There is a moment in the journey of the chosen one where the atmosphere itself begins to respond, where the air around you thickens with tension, not of danger, but of fascination. A current that seems to trail in your wake, turning heads, shifting focus, tightening the silence in the room. It is not imagined, it is not accidental, it is the consequence of living with a frequency that cannot be faked. You, chosen one, have become a presence. Your walk has changed, not because you tried to walk differently, but because your awareness has settled into your bones. Your shoulders carry quiet confidence, not noise. Your eyes don't scan, they see. Your energy doesn't announce itself, but it doesn't need to. It moves through space with the subtlety of breath and the certainty of fire. Women notice it. They feel the pull before they understand why. They watch not because they are curious, but because they sense something real, something rare. It is not a performance. It is not a trick. It is simply you, moving through the world with embodied power. This awareness is your awakening. You are no longer invisible. You are no longer wondering if the way people respond to you is coincidence. You know it now. They are watching you. Not out of judgment, but out of desire. Desire not only to be close, but to understand what it is they're feeling when you pass by. There is a heat in your silence, a draw in your stillness, and every step you take is no longer just movement. It is communication. But with this awareness comes a responsibility. Your presence, once quiet and unnoticed, now leaves an imprint. People remember the way you made them feel. They remember how your glance made them shift in their seat. They remember how your voice slowed down time. They remember how your walk stirred something in them that had been asleep. That's not a burden. That's a gift. But only if you carry it with clarity. So now, as the chosen one, your role begins with attend to your own attention. Be present in your body. Be conscious of your movements. Understand that what may feel natural to you feels electrifying to those watching. They don't just see your outer frame, they feel the frequency of your essence. And it's that essence that excites them. Not because you're trying to seduce, but because you're fully alive. That aliveness is rare. And rare things are always noticed. You are not just being looked at, you are being studied. Your every movement is a message, your every gesture an invitation. And the more you move from grounded truth, the more your presence speaks for you. Without a single word, you tell the world, I know who I am, and I do not flinch. This is your starting point. Not performance, not pursuit, but pure magnetic awareness of presence. There is a sacred pressure that comes with being watched. Not all attention is the same. Some is shallow, glancing, fleeting. But the kind of gaze you now attract as the chosen one is different. It lingers, it studies, it feels. It is a gaze layered with emotion, interest, fantasy, and unspoken hope. And you feel it everywhere you go. You feel it when you walk past a group and conversations stall. You feel it when you enter a room and bodies subtly orient toward you. You feel it when a woman's glance flickers and she tries not to look again. Tries, but fails. This gaze is not a burden. It's not something to shrink from. It is a signpost. A reminder that your energy is no longer private. You are seen now. You are felt. And the watchers, they are not just admiring, they are receiving something that your movement transmits, something your energy carries. It is not the look of someone seeing a stranger. It is the look of someone watching a signal they don't fully understand, but cannot turn away from. This energy that excites them isn't just attraction, it's activation. When you walk, when you move, when you speak, you're doing more than passing through their line of sight. You're stirring memory. You're stirring longing. You're stirring the desire for something real. It may not even be conscious, but it is felt deeply. And it happens because your energy, especially your sexual energy, is no longer dormant. It is awake, and it vibrates through every gesture, every choice, every breath. But this gaze is double-edged. It invites, but it also tests. It tests how well you know yourself. It tests whether you'll shrink under the spotlight or rise into the man you've been called to be. When you feel their eyes on you, your first task is not to respond. It is to remain. To stand firm in your own frequency. To remember that you are not here to entertain their expectations. You are here to anchor their curiosity in truth. That gaze can become anything. A spark, a storm, a silence. But what it becomes depends on what you choose to do with it. You no longer move through life wondering if you're seen. You are. But what they see, and more importantly what they feel, is shaped by your alignment. When your energy is clear, the gaze becomes worshipful. When your intentions are honest, the gaze becomes an offering. And when your heart remains unshaken by attention, the gaze becomes a mirror. A mirror in which others see not only your power, but their own reflection trying to rise. Every step you take is watched now. Every move is studied. Not because you asked for it, but because you've earned it. Not because you flaunt your energy, but because you own it without apology. Let that gaze excite you. Let it ground you. Let it remind you that your story is no longer just yours. It is a signal to the world that something different walks among them now. You are the chosen one. And every eye that turns toward you is not a distraction. It is confirmation. There is a rhythm to your life now, a cadence that others feel before they ever speak to you. It's subtle at first. An intuitive shift in the way conversations unfold, a noticeable difference in how people respond to your presence, how they hesitate before they speak, how their sentences falter when you lock eyes with them. The chosen one does not speak often without reason, but when you do, your words seem to linger longer in the air. When you move, people feel the pause, feel the weight. When you enter a space, you don't simply arrive, you alter it. This shift is not about dominance or control. It is about attunement. You have become the music others are unconsciously trying to match. Your high sexual energy has created a living frequency that others either harmonize with or fall out of alignment trying to. And because of this, every interaction you engage in becomes a kind of dance. Not a performance, not a manipulation, but a sacred exchange of frequency, awareness, and choice. When a woman locks eyes with you and you feel that silent invitation, she's not just reacting to your appearance. She's responding to something more primal, something spiritual, something alive in your presence. She feels something stirring in her body and she doesn't always know why. But you do. You've seen the pattern now. You've felt the heat that builds in the air before a single word is spoken. You've watched how her laughter softens in your presence, how her movements become slower, more intentional, more vulnerable. And you realize this isn't a moment to conquer. This is a moment to meet her where she is. This is the dance, the sacred balance between leaning in and allowing space, between the offer and the echo, between masculine direction and feminine openness. And you, chosen one, must remain deeply present in the middle of that rhythm. Because when you're attuned, when your awareness is sharp and your intention clean, your presence becomes a conductor of transformation. You don't need to lead with force. You lead by invitation. You don't try to win her over. You simply invite her to meet herself through you. And she feels it. She feels that you're not looking to fill a void or escape loneliness. You are not searching for distraction or entertainment. You are dancing because you choose to. Because you've mastered your own rhythm, and now you are inviting her to step into it, not to lose herself, but to become more awake. That kind of interaction is not common. That kind of presence is not replaceable. That kind of attention is not forgotten, and yet, you don't move with arrogance. You don't take every invitation as permission. You know that some gazes are tests, that some smiles are masks, that some desires are projections. You dance with discernment. You respond with awareness. You don't rush to touch what hasn't fully opened. You don't reach for connection that hasn't grounded itself in truth. You let things unfold. And that patience, that stillness is what drives others wild. Because you're not desperate to begin, you're ready when it's real. This dance will not always be easy. Some will misinterpret your stillness as disinterest, your calm as distance, your clarity as coldness. Let them. You're not here to match their tempo. You're here to lead with integrity, to dance with those who can hold their own rhythm and still follow yours without collapsing. You are the chosen one, and the way you interact with the world is no longer random. It is a ritual. Every step you take, every pause you hold, every gaze you return, is a message, is a movement, is an invitation into something they've never felt before, but have always longed to. Energy is your language now. You no longer need to rely on words to be understood. You no longer feel the need to explain your presence, your truth, your reason for being. You have grown into a frequency that speaks for itself. And the most powerful thing about it? It's not what you say. It's what people feel when they're near you. As the chosen one, you carry high sexual energy that cannot be hidden. It pulses behind your eyes. It radiates from your skin. It lingers in your silence. It isn't just about attraction. It's about awareness. Your energy doesn't just say, "Look at me." It says, "Feel something you forgot was alive inside you." And that, more than anything, is what excites those who encounter you. They don't just want to look. They want to experience what your presence is doing to them. Your energy is not loud, it is not chaotic, it is not scattered, it is focused, controlled, honed like a blade, tempered like fire, shaped by intention. And because of that it becomes irresistible. Not because it seeks to seduce, but because it refuses to hide. Your energy doesn't beg for attention. It commands it. And not through dominance, but through depth. It doesn't compete, it simply is. Fully. Unapologetically. The power of your energy is not just in how it affects others, but in how it disciplines you. It teaches you when to engage and when to remain still, when to offer and when to withhold, when to respond and when to observe. You've learned that not every moment requires your fire, that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is hold it within. Not to deny it, but to respect it. This is where your strength lies now, in restraint, in direction, in choosing not to let your energy lead you blindly, but instead allowing it to serve your highest alignment. And others feel that. They feel the difference between a man who leaks his power and a man who radiates it, between someone who is consumed by their desires and someone who has learned to channel them. Women don't just feel attraction towards you. They feel activated. Your presence turns something on inside them, not because you're trying to, but because you're being real. And that kind of energy, when paired with clarity and compassion, becomes transformational. It's not just a charge, it's a signal, a calling, a reminder that presence and passion are not opposites, they are partners. The power of your energy is also in its healing. You don't even need to speak about it. It heals in the way you look at someone without judgment, in the way you allow silence without tension, in the way you remain grounded while the room swirls around you. That energy makes people feel safe to feel. It makes people trust themselves again. And you, chosen one, are now a steward of that trust. You are no longer a man trying to be powerful. You are a man who has become the power itself. The one who moves through the world, not to prove, but to remind others what's real. To remind others what it feels like to be fully present. To remind others that energy, when mastered, becomes medicine. You are the chosen one, and your power is no longer in your body alone. It is in your being. When the chosen one walks into a room, something shifts. Conversations soften, glances linger, bodies subtly reorient themselves toward your energy. This isn't flattery. It isn't ego. It's reality. A quiet truth you've now grown wise enough to acknowledge without pride and hold without recklessness. What you carry is no longer private. Your influence is alive, present, and being felt by others. Even when you say nothing at all, your high sexual energy has moved beyond the surface of attraction. It now operates in the unseen realms, affecting emotion, sparking inspiration, stirring memories, and longing in those who come close. You may not always witness the effects in real time, but you must know this. Your presence changes people. It alters the emotional landscape. And because of that, you are no longer just a man. You are a mirror. You reflect hidden desires, buried truths, and forgotten fire in those who cross your path. But this influence is not a reward. It is a responsibility. It is a sacred burden to carry, one that demands maturity and clarity. You cannot afford to move blindly through this world anymore. Every gesture you offer, every silence you hold, every interaction you enter, these things are being received and remembered. Your energy is no longer your own to waste. It has become an offering. And the way you steward it defines the kind of legacy you leave behind. There will be moments when people project their desires onto you, when they see in you not who you truly are, but what they want to feel. There will be women who look at you and sense healing, excitement, escape, transformation, all at once. And while it may flatter the ego, it must awaken the guardian within you. You must learn to hold their attention without misleading them. You must learn to receive their desire without exploiting it. You must learn to let people be moved by your energy without turning it into currency for validation. This is where many fall. This is where charisma turns into corruption. When a man realizes the effect he has, he can choose one of two paths: the path of gratification or the path of elevation. The first feeds the hunger of the moment. The second builds a presence that blesses everything it touches. You have chosen the second, and so now, your influence must be intentional. You don't give your time carelessly. You don't let your words be interpreted in ways that create false hope. You don't touch unless you're ready to hold what that touch awakens. You don't make promises with your presence that your character cannot keep. This is what separates the powerful from the profound. You are no longer just exciting to others, you are trusted, and that trust must be honored. The true measure of your influence is not in how many chase you, it's in how many rise after encountering you. Did you leave them more aware, more grounded, more seen? Or did you leave them scattered, confused, wanting more of you but not knowing why? This is the question you must ask yourself in every encounter. This is the sacred weight of being watched, not for performance, but for guidance. Not because people think you're perfect, but because your energy feels safe enough to explore something deeper. You are the chosen one because you chose to wield your influence as a force for alignment. You chose not to dilute your power through misuse. You chose not to hide from it, but to master it. And now your very presence is a standard. Your silence is instruction. Your clarity is medicine. Let your influence never be accidental. Let it always be a reflection of the truth you live by. Let every step you take, every word you share, every moment you hold, be worthy of the trust that your energy invites. You are the chosen one, and the world is watching not just what you do, but who you become in the power you've earned. There is a deep and lasting truth the chosen one begins to discover. What you do lingers. Long after the conversation ends, long after the moment passes, long after your name fades from their lips, your presence echoes, your actions reverberate, your energy remains, even in your absence. This is not fantasy. This is not metaphor. This is the reality of impact. You walk through life now, leaving energetic fingerprints. You imprint hearts, minds, and bodies not through force, but through intention. The way you stood, the way you listened, the way your voice curved around a word like it mattered, the way your silence gave permission for someone else to speak their truth. These things do not disappear. They remain. They echo. You may forget the conversation. You may move on without a second thought. But the person you spoke to might relive it in their dreams. They might find themselves recalling the way you made them feel years from now, in a moment of doubt, in a moment of longing, in a moment when they remember that someone once saw them and didn't flinch. This echo is not about ego. It is about essence. It is the residue of truth. And it demands that you move with reverence. Because every choice you make now sends signals. Signals about how to love. Signals about how to lead. Signals about how to feel. The more aligned you are with your inner world, the more your outer world reflects your integrity. The more your actions ring true, the longer their echo will be heard. You begin to realize that the women who watch your steps aren't just responding to your sexual energy. They're responding to your clarity, to your intentionality, to the way your actions seem to emerge from a deeper place, a place of purpose, not performance. This is what excites them, not just how you look, but what your movement communicates. Every step you take says something about your character. Every boundary you uphold speaks volumes about your self-respect. Every interaction becomes a mirror in which others glimpse a higher version of themselves, and so you become more careful. Not cautious in fear, but careful in craft. You no longer move reactively, you move creatively. You are authoring moments. You are sculpting experience. You are building a reputation not of fame, but of frequency. A frequency that remains long after you've gone. The echo of your actions is what will define your true legacy. Not just how people felt about you, but how they felt about themselves in your presence. Did they feel empowered? Did they feel awakened? Did they feel safe to be real? Or did they feel consumed, discarded, confused? You are the chosen one, and every step you take now carries the weight of what follows it. Your echo is your fingerprint. Your echo is your truth. Let it be strong. Let it be clean. Let it be unforgettable, not because you made noise, but because you made meaning. There is a turning point on the path of the chosen one where you no longer question if people are looking at you. You know they are. But what matters more now is how you show up when their eyes are on you. Not in performance, not in strategy, but in the raw, sacred truth of your being. The art of being seen is not about dressing yourself